It's like way back in the 1800s in England, and there's this massive, old, spooky asylum called Stonehearst. It's totally in the middle of nowhere, and to make it even creepier, it's winter and snowing like crazy. But people still get sent there for treatment. Anyway, boom! This young doctor from Oxford University, a guy named Edward, shows up. He's traveled all this way because he wants to get some hands-on experience with, serious mental disorders. The whole place gives him a weird vibe right away. The first people he meets are this sketchy-looking guy named Finn and his crew. And get this, they're carrying guns. They give Edward this look like he's a bug they want to step on, but they let him inside anyway. So Edward goes in and meets the guy in charge, the superintendent, Dr. Silas Lamb. And Lamb is immediately suspicious. He's like, we never got any letter saying you were coming. He tries to be polite and says maybe the bad weather stopped the mail, but you can tell he doesn't trust Edward at all. Then Dr. Lamb starts grilling him with questions. He's basically like, there are asylums way closer to your house, so why did you come all the way out here to our little place in the middle of nowhere? What do we have that they don't? And Edward gives this really earnest answer. He's like, I came here because I heard you have the most serious cases, and I really want to learn from your methods. This seems to be the right thing to say, because Lamb finally agrees to let him stay. So, on his first day, Lamb gives him a tour and shows him some of the patients. And that's when Edward sees this one woman, a 30-year-old, named Eliza. She's just sitting there playing the piano beautifully. She doesn't look insane at all. But Lamb tells him she has hysteria, which is this messed up disorder where if you even touch her, she totally freezes up and loses it. And why is she there? Get this, she supposedly cut her husband's ear off. But even with that story, Edward starts noticing that the way the doctors treat the patients here is really, really different from anything he's ever heard of. Something is definitely off
super
about this
well.
place.
They're not locked up or anything. They just walk around freely. And they don't do any of that messed up stuff like electric shocks or dunking people in ice water. It's totally bizarre. And get this, the doctors and the patients all eat dinner together at the same big table. Edward thinks this is super strange, but he just figures, hey, maybe it's some new revolutionary treatment method, so he doesn't think too much about it. Then at dinner, Edward gets into an argument with that sketchy guy Finn. Dr. Lamb gets really mad about it and forces Finn to apologize. So Finn offers Edward a drink to show there are no hard feelings, but just as Edward is about to take a sip, Eliza gives him this intense look that basically screams, "Do not drink that." Later, she finds him alone and is like, "You need to get out of here. Right now, leave all your bags so no one gets suspicious and just run." But Edward's all, "No way, I just got here. I need to know what's really going on." But she won't spill the beans. So now Edward is completely suspicious. He can't sleep, he knows something is seriously wrong, so he keeps a pistol with him just in case. But he's too curious to leave. Then he starts hearing these strange banging sounds coming from downstairs. So of course, he goes to check it out, following the noise down into the asylum's creepy basement. And what he finds is insane. He discovers a hidden part of the basement, and it's filled with people locked up in cells. At first, he thinks these must be the really dangerous patients. But then one of them, a guy who says he's Dr. Salt, starts talking to him. And he spills the beans. Get this. The people in the cages are the real doctors and nurses. The entire original staff is locked down there, which means all the people upstairs, Dr. Lamb, Finn, even Eliza, they're the actual patients. They staged a revolt and completely took over the asylum. Total disaster. Edward's mind is totally blown. He doesn't know who to believe. But then Dr. Salt proves it. He's like, "We know you're real. We received your letter a week ago." That's how Lamb knew he was coming. Then he tells him the whole messed up story. Dr. Lamb is actually Silas Lamb, a former patient. He was a brilliant army surgeon who went crazy during the war. He was so smart and charismatic that he convinced all the other patients to rebel. He killed 4 of the doctors and locked the entire original staff down there to starve. And now, Edward is their only hope. Edward is completely terrified, realizing he's trapped. The only person he thinks he can trust is Eliza. He immediately finds her and tells him everything. He's like, "This place is a nightmare. We have to escape. I'll get you out of here." But Eliza just looks at him and refuses. She's like, "Dude, I'm one of them. I'm a patient. I told you to run when you had the chance. Now you're trapped, just like us."
Edward
And
is
bam,
totally stuck. He
he's
wants to
totally
save
stuck.
Eliza, but he also has to help the real doctors trapped in the basement. Total disaster. He has to play it cool, so he comes up with this clever plan. He just pretends like he knows nothing. He acts like he's totally on board with Lamb's crazy methods, and Lamb totally buys it. He thinks Edward is going to be his new star pupil or something. But at the same time, Edward is sneaking food and water down to the real doctors in the basement. He's trying to find out what Lamb's deal is, what his specific mental problem is, so he can use it against him. And then things get even more messed up. Two of the real doctors try to make a run for it, but that psycho Finn catches them and just murders them. And now all the fake doctors are getting paranoid because winter is ending, which means visitors might show up and expose their whole secret. So Lamb decides to get rid of the real Dr. Salt. He straps him down for electroshock therapy to just fry his memory. And get this, Edward has to help him do it so he doesn't blow his own cover. So messed up. So Edward plans this big escape for New Year's Eve. He's going to drug everyone's champagne. But of course, Finn sees him doing it, and they have this huge knockdown, drag-out fight. Edward wins, but the plan is totally blown. Lamb knows everything. So now it's Edward's turn on the electroshock table. Lamb is going to fry his brain and make him one of them. But Edward is smart. He knows Lamb's weakness now. Just as Lamb is about to flip the switch, Edward is like, "Wait, my last request. Just let me see the photo in my pocket." So Lamb takes it out, and it's this picture that triggers Lamb's own horrible memories from the war. Turns out he was a real surgeon who just snapped from all the horror. He couldn't handle the screaming, so he just started killing his patients to quiet them down, and he's felt guilty ever since. So he created this whole fantasy world where he's a kind doctor. While all this is happening, Finn comes back to finish Edward off, but he gets tangled in the machine and gets electrocuted himself. Total karma. But his flailing around starts a massive fire, and the whole asylum is going up in flames. Edward is the hero. He gets everyone out. He frees the real doctors, and he grabs Eliza to escape with her. He's finally going to be with the girl he wants. But then, you are not going to believe this. Just as they're all standing outside, another guy walks up and he's like, "I'm Dr. Edward, and I'm here for my patient, Eliza Graves." Everyone is just stunned, and they're all like, "If you're Dr. Edward, then who the heck is this guy?" And then it all comes out. Our guy, the one we've been following, is not a doctor. He's a patient from another asylum. He saw Eliza in a lecture once, fell completely in love with her, and escaped just to find her. He stole his own doctor's identity. That's why he fit in so well. He was one of them all along. Surprise! And the movie just ends with the two of them, the fake Edward and Eliza, totally free and starting a new life together somewhere else. How crazy is that?